What's up guys, Barney here, aka Typhoon Boon, bringing you episode 3 of Motion Sensor 101. This is a series I'm doing on my channel where I teach you guys a few tips, tricks, and my preferred tactic using the motion sensor to win free-for-alls and occasionally have a nice little flawless game like I've got here for you today. The map we're going to focus on today is Cracked, so I'm just going to run through my setup real quick. I'm using the Dual Manx Galil with, I believe, a Python secondary. I'm using Hardline, Sleight of Hand Pro, and Ninja Pro. And I'm just attempting to push out of my spawn here. I got a spawn in Market, which is a pretty decent spawn. It spawns me on this half of the main street, which is the kind of the half of the map that I like to control during free-for-all, because the other side of the map has less long lines of sight, and I'm big into my long lines of sight. And that guy just killed himself. He decided I'm so good that life wasn't worth living. So as you see here, I placed the motion sensor in the corner of that room on the second floor of the 3-story building, and that is pretty much going to cover every single entrance coming into this building. So if you just place your motion sensor there, you should be pretty good for anyone sneaking up on you. As long as they're not using Hacker Pro, you should be fine. But I'll go into more detail here. So here we have an aerial view of the place we're going to be defending. The building highlighted in green is called 3-story, and this is where we're going to be spending the majority of the game defending, killing anyone who comes near, and killing anyone who runs past. And we'll move on to the more detailed layer here. So the blue is the area we're going to be defending. That's the highlighted in blue there is the top story of the 3-story building, or the 3rd story. And basically what this is, this area provides the most lines of sight out of the building. You get to see most of the entrances. Anything else you can move to cover, because your motion sensor will automatically inform you of enemies coming into the building, and you can move yourself accordingly on this blue area. The areas highlighted in green are easily visible entrances, and also the only entrances up to the 2nd and 3rd story. So those are the areas you need to watch carefully to make sure if someone's trying to sneak in. So you've got the bridge, you've got the back window that's coming from the dock side of the map, and also the stairs that come from the 1st floor. Then highlighted in red are possible entrances that you might need to pay attention to if you started staying in this spot for quite a while. People are starting to get wise to your position. They're probably going to be trying to get back in and get a revenge kill on you. So the red arrows are likely lines of attack. Moving around, you've got quite a few. You've got 4 entrances from the dock side. You've got one from the main street coming from the dock, one from the far street, and then you've got 2 coming from the ruins and the ruined tunnel. And then from the other side, you've got the highway, and you've got people coming from the middle of the highway, coming underneath into the front door of the 3-story, and also people coming into the alley and coming in the side of the bottom floor of your 3-story building. You can also have people pushing into the 2-story building next to the 3-story building and coming across the bridge, but you can cover that quite easily by looking down from the nice conveniently placed hole in the 3rd story. So now moving on to the last thing that I want to teach you guys about this map when you're defending from this position is the places you've got to watch for people trying to kill your ass. So I'll start on the left hand side here, and all the places highlighted in red are places you're likely to going to get killed from that aren't inside the building. So people who are trying to take you out from long range or grenade you, these are the kind of places you're going to need to watch. So the first little red rectangle that's to the left of the green truck, as you can see on the left hand side of the aerial view here, is in the building that we call Barbershop, and you get into that building by coming through the market and coming up the stairs into that building, and from that spot you can get a nice little view onto the 3rd story and also get grenades up on the 3rd story, so it's quite easy to snipe you out of the 3rd story if there's someone in that window. So you want to be checking that quite frequently, making sure they're not getting wise to your position and trying to take you out. And then there's a little red square in front of the barbershop, and that's a little right angle cover piece there made up of some fences, and I think it's some cinder blocks or something like that. It's got some green tarp around it, and it's very easy to nade the 3rd story from there if you're good with your grenades, and also you can clip people in the 3rd story, so you want to be watching people down there, making sure nobody's trying to take you out from there. Then the big red area down below this is not necessarily somewhere people are going to kill you from, but definitely an area you need to watch for traffic, because people will easily be pushing through the market out of spawn and trying to get across the other side of the map away from where you're trying to kill them. So you want to deny them that luxury and make sure you cut them off as they try and get out the market. And also people trying to run into the centre building here, up through the hill onto where B flag and domination is. there's going to be an easy line of sight for you up on the 3rd story to pick those people off at long range, as long as you've got a decent weapon like the Galil. Then down below here, actually in the cracked building, in the middle of the map, is the little window right at the end of it, where you can get a nice vantage point up onto the balcony area. So if you're sitting in the balcony area where there's a little archway with the sandbags, you're going to need to watch that window every so often, make sure nobody's trying to take you out. And then you've also got next to that window the courtyard area where the statue is, and also the gatehouse next to that, where a lot of people will try and snipe you out of the balcony, and also from the edge of the 3-story, the right hand side on this picture. And then finally the area coming up from the side of the dock area on this map. You can easily see this area if you're sitting to the bottom right hand end of the 3-story, just looking down past the balcony over the bridge, and you can easily see that area. So that's an easy area to check just for people coming out of spawn, just in case they decide to get wise to your position and throw a little grenade up there and try and kill you. I would usually be using flak jacket on this, but I felt like using hardline, so my recommendation, if you're trying this out, use flak jacket, because it will protect you from grenades a lot better. So let's jump back onto the game now, and I will put all these tips into action and tell you about them. So as you can see, I'm set up here on the 3rd story now, just checking that back area that I told you to check coming from docks. As you can see, sitting in the bottom right hand corner of the 3rd story, just making sure nobody's coming to try and push through ruins. I can see a guy's feet in the ruins because I can't actually see his head because of the height difference between the 2 layers. So I decide not to chase around that corner, but I do pull out my Enfield for the closer range combat, because the Enfield is a much more reliable gun at close range compared to the Galil. Now, as you can see here, I'm watching the front side now, making sure that nobody's trying to get out of the market spawn. Just have a quick check through that balcony, make sure nobody's trying to get me from the courtyard, and then back to checking the front again. Your main focus needs to be on this front area here, checking barbershop and also the cracked building, and making sure that nobody is getting out of spawn. Because what you want to be doing is locking down and making sure that nobody can get out from your side of the map, and you just keep killing them as they come out of spawn. So as you see, I've picked up my SR-71 here and also my Blackbird, so I know where they are now. And there's a guy down in that little right angle piece of cover there. I know where he's at, he knows where I am at, so I don't want to really take him on a head-on-head gunfight, just in case by some crazy amount of luck he manages to get a lucky headshot on me or something like that. So I choose to use my grenade on him, make sure he dies properly. This was a little rash on my part, jumping down to get that guy, but I wanted my puppies, I wanted them bad, so I jumped down and decided I had the advantage over that guy. Even though I lost a bit of health dropping down, I thought I could take him. So I've released the hounds now, bringing in my chopper gunner, and that's pretty much game over for these guys. I think I'm going to end up needing to get about 2 more kills when I come out of my chopper gunner, simply because I can't remember if it gets shot down, but on cracked there's a lot of cover to hide from your chopper gunner, so you're not going to get as many kills as you would on a map like jungle or just any big open map, compared to this map, which is a lot of enclosed areas, buildings, quite hard to get some good lines of sight with the chopper gunner. But you will pick up a fair few kills, and I only needed 4 more kills when I came out of my chopper, and I just picked up 1 there. And obviously I'm back in my same spot again, don't need to move, the action's coming to me, and I can also pick people off at long range nice and easily, and just patrol this area, make sure that as soon as anybody appears on my red dot, I'm ready for them as soon as they come in through the building, and just generally making sure I'm keeping myself aware, just switching out to my Enfield here to get the final kill on this guy in the gatehouse. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Motion Sensor 101. The next episode is going to be on Hanoi, which is quite a difficult map for free-for-all, but I have a pretty good tactic for it, so I'll share that with you guys in a bit. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.